sorry about your damn luck is what they're going to say to you when you get your information stolen. When you're on that unsecured Wi-Fi and you're traveling and you don't use nordvpn.com/Fightful. You got threat protection with that, though. Block online trackers, block pop-ups, block malware. Securely, safely browse with peace of mind while you're traveling on all your devices, your TV, your phone, your computers, even your router with nordvpn.com/Fightful. You get an additional month free and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Access geo-restricted content, avoid price discrimination, protect yourself, and not only that, you're going to save some money thanks to nordvpn.com/Fightful and their threat protection. Make sure you guys check it out. I use it every single day. When I was on this trip to interview James Storm, I also use this service. It's a good time. Don't you want to save some money? Don't you want to browse securely? nordvpn.com/Fightful. What's up, you guys? Sean Ross at Fightful.com here with the name you know, James Storm. What about Sting?
He wears face paint sometimes.
I was told, lead writer Jeremy Lambert's been harassing me all day to say, what about Sting? And I was like, well, James Storm teamed with Chris Harris. Chris Harris is right over there. Chris Harris dressed as Sting one time.
I never did. I never did beat Sting.
You didn't?
No, I wrestled him I think 99 times in a row.
Oh my God! Were you on the house show loops with him?
Yeah.
House show loops,
buddy. And then the stuff we did in Impact,
I would always.
And he actually, this is a credit to him. He actually went to the office, was like, maybe we should put him over because it does no good for me to keep winning. It does. He has no heat.
I would always love it. I never went to one. I wish I did. But he would make some of the bigger cities for the house show loop.
Right.
But he would make Lexington because his kid played football there.
Yes.
And I was always like, okay, that's pretty cool. But completely separate of wrestling Sting, you've had a pretty awesome career of your own.
Well, a funny story about that also about Sting really quick is we would go and do the England tours or whatever, and my wife, she went on an England tour, and because she wasn't under contract with TNA, she wasn't able to get on the bus. But TNA had Sting a car service, so Sting's wife, Sting, and my wife all rode in a limo the whole tour, while we sat on a bus,
That's pretty cool, and he's still doing it.
Yeah.
He's still back doing it.
Right.
I was there for his first match back, and I was like, oh, well, this will be some patty cake stuff.
Right.
It was not.
No.
The crowd erupted for him just taking his shirt off.
Yep.
They're like, Sting's getting naked. Yeah.
Woo!
We're ready
Get
for it.
in your underwear, Sting.
I have often said, even though I'm from Kentucky, I don't like country music, but I like your theme song.
Thank you.
That is one of my favorite country songs of all time.
I actually wrote it with Serge, who is Dixie's husband or whatever. And he was the first person to sing it because while we were writing it, we started doing shots of Jack or whatever, and then so Serge would just kind of start singing a little chorus or whatever. And I was like, dude, I want you to sing the theme song because you have that gravelly voice or whatever. So we gave Serge 3 shots of Jack, and then he sung the first version of Long Necks and Rednecks.
That's incredible. I just love that song. I think it fits really well. I loved it when Montgomery Gentry did it as well. My God, just what a perfect theme song for that character too. Because there are some that it's like it doesn't really fit. That one fits so well.
And it's one of those songs that I wrote because I know my steps to the ring, my mannerism, how I go to the ring, and I wanted everything in that song to hit on cue or whatever. So it turned out really good.
A lot of people remember your NXT run, which was a lot of fun. You popping up over there. How was that process even coming in? Who reached out to you specifically and said, "Hey, come do some spots"?
Road Dogg did. Road Dogg reached out to me, and I went down. And as soon as I got down there, Hunter started talking to me about doing some stuff and everything. And he, so I was actually on Hunter's bus and stuff. And Billy Gunn's wife was like, "Hey, how's Storm doing?" He goes, "I don't know. I ain't seen him. He's been on Hunter's bus since he got here, And but they reached out and I did that spot, and it's so funny because when I came out, the crowd just went crazy, and so there's these 3 guys when I come out and they're just going nuts, and then I don't know, a year later I'm watching WWE and I see they use this video footage for John Cena, of the 3 guys going crazy. I went, wait a minute, those were my guys. But I mean, it was a lot of fun.
They're still recycling that in the Thunderdome
right.
years later.
Right.
Stuff.
I mean, they're still showing those guys. The arena's empty, and they're still showing those guys.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute. But I knew a lot of the guys down there, from just traveling the Indies and TNA that went over there and stuff. So I mean, I fit right in, when I went down there. So
yeah, it seems like. And you had, I assume you had wrestled Road Dogg several times, and he was in TNA.
A couple times, yeah.
I mean, it seems like everybody came through there at some point.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you guys were right there in the thick of it. I mean, I remember Road Warriors popped up there.
Yep.
Like, you just never know who was gonna show up there. And you had another run there recently. I mean, it seems like you're still on really good terms with them.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of the things where, because I was actually supposed to go back. I had the contract signed and everything. I was supposed to debut right after WrestleMania. And then COVID hit and all that stuff. And then I seen that Paul Heyman got relieved of his duties from Raw. And then I see all these releases. I went, waiting on that phone call. And yeah, it was almost like magic. As soon as I snapped my fingers, the phone rang. It's like, I don't even want to answer this.
So who got in contact for that? Because, I mean, I remember that came out in an interview you did recently that you were supposed to head back there.
Yeah.
Who got in contact with you like, hey, let's
it was Paul Heyman.
Wow.
So he told Kenya Seaman to reach out to me or whatever and see what my thoughts were. And it was basically, I was going to basically help guys learn to wrestle on TV, And he said, do you have a problem with that? I was like, no, I don't. When I go to the bank, they don't ask me if I win or lose, They just ask me, how would you like this? But it was just one of those things where Paul was like, we need guys that know how to wrestle on TV, that can get in the ring and still go and teach these guys. He goes, because we can have our coaches out there all day in the ring and tell these guys, okay, you got to do this and this and this, but until they get in there and experience with someone who's been on TV for a long period of time, it's hard to explain that to someone. And he goes, plus we need guys that are believable, that can do a promo and believe their own shit. And it was one of those things like, that's me. Like I've lived my life, and usually what I say is I've done it.
So had you had much interaction with Paul Heyman prior to that? Because I'm trying to think of when your paths would have crossed.
No, I had, they asked me to come down to a different couple Raws and stuff. I did one in Atlanta where they snuck me in backstage, and I was back there, and I wasn't supposed to be there. And then Paige gets on her Instagram, and I thought she was sending a video to her mom, who I was going to be working for in a couple weeks over in England. And I look, and she's on IG Live. She's like, oh, got James Storm back here. I was like, oh, no. I was like, I'm James Strom. Oh, no.
No.
And then it was like all over the internet. James Storm backstage at Raw, and Road Dogg came right up to me and goes, you're not supposed to be here. And she was good enough. She was like, look, that's my fault, blah, blah. I was like, I just got fired before I got hired. Like, I'm just waiting. And Paul Heyman actually came walking by. Me and Kurt was sitting there, and we were watching the monitors or whatever. And Paul Heyman came by, and he just came up to me, and he's like, man, a big fan of your work and all this. And I was like, man, appreciate it,
So have you had any conversations with them since then? Because I know you've done Impact stuff. You've done a lot of other stuff since then.
No, now that they're just hiring 30 and under guys, I went, well. But I
can forge your documents.
Right. Right.
I was wrestling in TNA when I was 11 years old, if you can believe that.
But I look at it like to me, they still need guys like me and my generation that can come in and still be able to go and be able to teach these guys how to do promos and how to believe in their character and how to wrestle on TV. Like you can teach everybody how to do a wrestling move, but to really learn how to work and wrestle on TV and make people believe in you is a lost art, really.
You've been doing a lot of acting lately
too.
How's that been? I mean, that seems right up your alley.
Yeah, I've been killing it, and the weird thing is I've been my own agent. So I did one movie, and it actually won Best Horror Film at the Atlanta Film Festival.
That's rad.
And the one in Toronto too. So it was really cool. And then that some other director contacted this director, and then the other movie I did, it's kind of like everybody, all the directors kind of knew everybody, and they're like, man, he was awesome to work with. Like I'm on all of them as a stunt coordinator as well, because
that's cool.
Because I'm teaching these guys how to do stuff, and it was a lot of fun. And my wife, she goes, why are you always getting these killer roles? Like you're always like the killer. And I went, babe, like this is not The Notebook 2 anytime soon. Like you might as well forget that.
And I mean, wrestlers in general, even though like you're not standing as tall as the Undertaker. Like,
right.
You're so much bigger than the average human being in general. Like, it's hard to kind of humanize that sometimes.
Yeah, and that's the good thing is I've been lucky enough where I didn't fall into that, oh, we just need you as a bodyguard, or we need you for this or that. And I've been lucky enough, and I'm SAG now, so that's really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would imagine you're experienced wrestling, cutting promos, and obviously if you're doing stunt coordinator, that had to have helped a ton.
Oh, I was actually the one that won Best Horror Film. We were on there, and so I hit the guy and I said, look, I'm going to get really close to you, but I'm not going to touch you. He had like a beard. I said, you feel my fist go right through your beard, and I hit him, whatever, and the stunt coordinator lady, the one that was there, she stopped. She said, cut, and the director was like, what is happening? And she went up to the guy. She goes, did he hit you? I went, no. He goes, that was awesome. And the director was like, you cannot yell cut. Like, this is my film. Like, if he's hurt, he'll tell us. But, like, no, what are you doing?
And as we're here, you were doing a signing with Wildcat Chris Harris.
Yeah.
Of course, you've been a part of some great tag teams. That's one of those that built TNA Wrestling. Did you guys stay in touch the whole time? Was there a period where you all ever lost touch, or has it been a steadfast relationship?
Yeah, it was kind of weird because when he went to WWE, we really just kind of went our separate ways because there was a lot of bad blood there at the time because we got word that they wanted us to come together as a tag team, whatever, and I had one more year left on my contract, and his was up. And I told him, I said, just sign for one more year, and we'll go together. That we're more valuable that way. And Bob Ryder was trying to tell me, he's like, don't go without Storm. He goes, I'm telling you, don't do it. But he wouldn't listen. Like, he wanted to go, and, I can't blame him. They was trying to throw some money at him, whatever, and then he got up there, and, man, they just buried him.
So, I mean, you think it probably would have went a lot better had he waited that year?
I'm not going to try to toot my own horn, but I think it would have went different. There wouldn't be a 3-disc Braden Walker collection, I wouldn't think, if I went up there together.
How does he feel? Like, have you ever joked with him about that?
Yeah, I got him to sign mine. I made one up. I mean, all the discs.
You make one?
Yeah, I made a cover up and everything.
Each one's one match. Oh, no. Oh, runtime, 3 minutes each. Oh, that's such a bummer.
He stood on the stage with his hands on his hips.
Oh, no.
He talked to Matt Hardy.
Let the people know where they can follow you on social media.
Yeah, you can follow me at James Storm Brand, both on Twitter and Instagram. And then I just started a TikTok page that's actually going really good, and I'm not a good TikToker. My last video got like 7.8 million views.
That is incredible. What did you do?
Like something stupid. Like, I was just like, it was a song. It was like, lock the doors and turn the lights down low. But I was like, when you're coming in and acting sexy or whatever, and then I tripped over this Tonka truck, and I was like, but then you realize you have kids,
You've got the beard and the hat. That demographic does well on TikTok.
It does pretty good.
Like, all you got to do is mouth the words of some country music, and you're gonna get a million.
And it's so funny because people are like, "Oh,
wink a little
bit."
He
has a great voice, and people are like, "That's not really not his voice. That's it's like a Garth Brooks song." I'm like, "Oh, hey, if they think it's me, all right, well, whatever."
Follow TikTok superstar James Storm.
James Storm, I think it's James Storm Brand 214. I don't even remember. It's easy to find.
Until next time, guys, we're out.